Moon Podcast Escalation! Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan D. White.
My name is Chris Sims, and this is Sailor Business, the podcast where we watch Sailor Moon. Gonna cut that intro to the quick.
Oh, come
this
on.
Week. No, because here's why I'm keeping it fast.
Oh, yeah, why?
Because we have been through some pretty rough stuff lately. It has ground us down, Jordan. That's fair to say, right?
The show? Yeah, a lot of fucking horse.
We have been left wondering if we even like Sailor Moon.
But we gotta.
No, we gotta. But here's the thing, buddy. This episode?
Yeah?
Kinda rules.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Except for the parts where it sucks real bad. But there's still only two. There's only two parts where it sucks. The rest of the episode kinda rules.
How vexing.
So I'm excited, because I know we have listeners out there that are like, why am I listening to these two grumpy jerks?
You know what? Okay, I challenge that assertion. If you are out there listening, going, what is wrong with these guys? This season is great. Please write us a letter.
No. Nobody's out there going, this season is great. People
Okay.
are out there going, these dudes are theatrically upset at this season.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Because we have to watch it. Listen, you don't have to watch it. You could just go, let's skip to the good ones.
I mean, that's true. we have sort of been condemned to a hell of our own making at this point.
We'll get through it.
But yeah, we are going to be watching episode 161 of Sailor Moon, Supers, which again, kinda rules. And to help us do that, we have invited a very special brand new guest to the show. Lauren Reyes is here. Lauren, welcome to Sailor Business.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, we are thrilled to have you.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. I was mentioning before, it's been a 4-year process in the making, I think, at least for me.
Wait, so yeah, you said you've been listening since the actual beginning of the show. How did you find us?
I literally Googled Sailor Moon podcast, and I think your guys' webpage on Waxworks came up.
That's amazing.
Episode 1, and I was starting my new day job in LA back, 4 years ago. And it was like ever since then, every episode, like I looked at your page religiously to make sure I was caught up every week. And it was like what would get me through my workday. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's so nice.
Oh my gosh. Until now, I think I always look forward to every new episode that comes through. And I don't know if you've been to Los Angeles and we're driven through the traffic here, but it's terrible. So it's definitely what keeps me laughing in my car, stuck in traffic of hours and on end, and what I still listen to while I'm working. So thank you guys for making such a good show.
Oh. So wait, so that means being on the show is going to make your week harder because you've already heard the show.
No, I don't know necessarily, but
You can do what I do, which is just listen back to your own podcast and be like, this is so good. Jordan, I've talked about it more on my other podcast than this one, but you know I've got I've got the anxiety disorder, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I have never been as frightened. I have never been as scared as I was riding as a passenger in a car in Los Angeles.
Why?
Because it's terrifying. Because everybody drives at 80 miles an hour about 6 inches away from the car in front of them.
Oh yeah, it sucks. I hate it. I moved here from New York City where I didn't have to drive.
Right.
I still am not used to it. It's just like the one thing I really hate about this city, to be quite honest with you.
I've only been to LA like twice, but my experience wasn't scary. It was more just like awful in the sense of traffic doesn't move very fast at all.
People don't know how to drive.
Yeah.
Mine, look, I was never caught like in the gridlock, but I was driving from downtown LA, from the Staples Center. I was riding. It was my friend, former coworker, DC Comics editor Andy Corey was giving me a ride. And it was either him or Matt Diggs, an artist that I have collaborated with who is fantastic, and everybody should check him out on Twitter. One of them was giving me a ride. I rode to Roscoe's, because of course,
Mm-hmm.
and I rode to the In-N-Out Burger on Hollywood Boulevard.
Of course.
And those were the two most terrifying car trips of my life.
Yeah, it sucks. It's like to get even 5 miles somewhere, it's like it takes like a half an hour. I still don't get it. But the podcasts are what keep it more, I would think, sane for the most part. So that's kind of what I have to do to eat up the time.
Now, did you try out any other Sailor Moon podcasts, or did you hear these two golden voices and go, yes, that's it?
No, I just heard these two and I was like, this is it. I'm good. Like, two guys talking about Sailor Moon episode by episode. This is fantastic. So I just went with it.
Can't wait to hear these opinions of these two straight white dudes.
Yeah, exactly. It's so good. And that was when Crystal was coming out too.
Mhm.
So I was just overloaded with all of this new Sailor Moon stuff. And it was like, for me, it was like the best thing. It was like that summer, I think. So, I was having so much fun just like indulging in all of this new Sailor Moon stuff that was coming out at the time.
Yeah, so that really was right when we started.
That's amazing.
Because we started, they started airing on Hulu,
Yeah.
the original Sailor Moon, to go along with Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
And we started that late that summer, that fall.
Yeah, for sure. That's when I started my first job too. So it was kind of like a good transition sort of period for me.
So aside from us being great, which is what we could talk about for the next hour and a half.
I mean, do we have to stop?
Look, we'll do an extended cut.
Okay. Next Chibi Sode. How good is Sailor Business?
Next Chibi-sode, And then Jordan said that thing, but then Chris said a funny thing.
Wow!
Yeah, I was a little mean. I apologize.
Go on.
Lauren, what is your history with Sailor Moon?
My history, I think it's very similar to a lot of other people. I'm sure you've heard this story before, but I, back in the 90s, woke up early one morning and turned on the TV, and then I saw Sailor Moon airing on, I distinctively remember it being the USA Network, around 6:30. It was right after this Gargoyles cartoon. But anyway, it was an Alan and Anne episode that just was randomly playing, and at the time I was like, what is this? I don't even know why I was up at 6:30. I'm not an early riser, but I just happened to wake up that one day. And ever since then I was sort of hooked up until they stopped airing it on TV. And at that point I was trying every means to get my hands on the next episode, or just new Sailor Moon at that point. So I think that was 96 or 97. And it's been a really long sort of love affair for me. It's always, Sailor Moon for me has always been entering into, as I mentioned, very transitional points of my life. So when I was in grade school, I got introduced to this and I started drawing because of it. And that's sort of what really led me onto my career path and to what I do now. And then I kind of just kept this sort of thing growing. I was always into the arts and animation and whatnot. And at that time, it was really just Nickelodeon cartoons, right? And Cartoon Network and, superhero cartoons here and there. But when I saw Sailor Moon, it was kind of this door open. I'm like, what is this? It's it felt very much more sophisticated than your next door cartoon. And it was very much more familiar. It was, in a sense, it had a very Asian feel, and that's kind of my upbringing. So I was kind of I really like this. I resonate more with this person and this girl than the other cartoons. And I was just obsessed. So that kind of went on for a while. And then I, was watching the deep dub up until it stopped, I think, on Cartoon Network. So that was kind of in the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Early 2000s, and kind of just waited around to see when it would be brought back to syndication. And it was just funny because at the time, I always say kids have it so easy nowadays, and I'm sure it's been mentioned before, but now it's it's so accessible for anybody to find an episode of anything. But before, it's you had to wait around and you didn't really know what was going on. All the episodes were sort of jumbled. The only way I would get Sailor Moon back then was going to the Toys R Us down the street and finding all the random VHS tapes, the really popular ones Crystal Clear Destiny and
Sure.
all the more heater episodes. But then I remember one time I went to the Philippines with my family, and I was just watching TV. And over there, anime is a lot more predominant because of just the region of where it is. And I remember all of a sudden an episode of Sailor Moon S came on, and this was like nowhere near like at that time. I was like, "What the heck? What is this?" So I was like glued to the TV, like just staying in because they were showing like all of these unedited episodes like with the actual original music, and like it was dubbed in Filipino, but I was like so excited, and then that sort of just kept fueling like the fire like I had for and my love for this show, and then I went to high school, and then that's when Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon came out. So at that point, like the show was, for me, the anime was like sort of over, but then this new show came on, so I started watching that, and that sort of like ate up 2 years of my life like in high school, because it was like actually really good, or sort of good at that time, to take it at face value. And yeah, so it's been like that. And again, I guess like when I think about it, like when I fast forward through periods of my life in college and whatnot, I went to school, again, as I mentioned, in New York City, and I was on my own for the first time. So it was kind of like in a weird spot. And then I thought, what comforts me usually is actually watching this show. So I was able to find like a torrent for all 200 episodes. And I think I just binge watched like while I was studying and like staying up super late. And that was something that sort of gave me comfort. And then fast forward again to like the next 5 years when I graduated and that sort of thing, I would watch it again just because like I was looking for a job, and like it was the recession at the time. So it was kind of like, there's nothing really going on. Like, let me just watch something that's familiar. And then again, like I was mentioning, I moved to LA like 4 years ago from New York, and then that was when all of a sudden Crystal came out, and then there's like all this new wave of Sailor Moon again. So it's like it's never really left me. It's been like this ongoing thing up until now. I think that's sort of my history. It's a very like long process. I think it's like I don't think it's ever going to go away.
So you mentioned that it led you to what you do now. So what is that?
So I'm an interior designer. I have my own business out here. It is a little different than what I've mentioned, but it's a lot more creative than people think. I do get to draw, and I do get to like be very, methodical and thoughtful about like spaces and whatnot. So that was sort of when I was younger, I was literally copying cell for cell, like printing out all of these images of Sailor Moon and just like literally drawing it and copying it. And at that time, like being a third grade, fourth grader was really good, I think, for that age. And that sort of just like grew from there. And I like expanded upon that. But as I got into, high school and college and, whatnot, I was really able to refine my technique. And I chose a profession where I was able to combine art with something that could feed me. So I was like, that's kind of like what I do now.
Okay, two things. One, there is right now nothing I want more than to do a Chibi-sode where we just go through every background and every room and get you to evaluate them.
Yes. Oh my God, it's so good. You have no idea.
The other thing I want to know is how many houses have you filled with blankets that have bunnies and stars on them?
Not nearly enough, but I have a niece that was just born, so I could definitely do her room. That's coming up soon with a lot of bunnies and stars, and just make it all about that.
Get me that bunny moon blanket. I want it.
You can get it,
It can have it. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I'd have to get it from like Redbubble or something. I want it from Pottery Barn, baby.
You think that's where you start?
That's what your boy wants.
Only the luxe stuff. You can't get any of the cheap stuff. They fall apart in like 2 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you like to share with us your opinions of the various things we have discussed on the show? I guess we'll start with Chibi, right? Is that where we start? No, we start with favorite scout. Who's your favorite scout?
So my favorite scout growing up was Ami. I was sort of like deemed her, I guess, in my group of friends. We had a group of friends where actually I was the one who chose which Sailor Scout was which. So I picked Ami for myself, and everybody seemed to agree because I was the quietest. I wasn't at all studious like her, but I was, in my mind, I was sort of like the person who just tucked away and just like gave her opinion whenever I felt like it. But now as an adult, I actually do like Mina. She's sort of my favorite more lately. I think I grew to appreciate her and her personality.
What do you like about Mina, and how can you defend her against Chris's accusations of no personality?
I mean, I know I could see how she was like really so one-dimensional in the beginning, but I think what did it for me was the series where she just all of a sudden started getting all these like really cool filler episodes, and I really enjoyed them. And like, and even the ones here in Super S for how really dragging the season is. Like the one that really resonated with me was when she was dating those two guys at
That was
once, and
pretty
I
great.
just thought it was super funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was in my mind, it still sticks with me. So she's comedic when she, when they make her to be, and it's like she is such a cool character.
Minako actually has some really good stuff in this episode too, and I have been
Yeah.
putting together our roster of guests for Stars, the potential final season of this show, the final season of the anime for sure, before we start back over with episode 1.
Oh, Jesus.
And I have noticed there are definitely more than a couple of Minako spotlights coming up in those
That's
last
for
40
sure.
episodes.
Yeah, and it's funny, like when I watch Stars, especially as an adult, there are a lot of great episodes in there. It actually is my favorite series out of the entire 5.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those things like you really understand better when you're older. So Mina, like for me, shined really bright, at least in the last arc. All of them really do, but she became more so my favorite after that one.
A thing that I'm really curious about, since you said you were the one who assigned your friends their roles, but you were Ami.
Yes.
So how did you decide who got to be Sailor Moon?
I picked Sailor Moon. I had a friend in grade school. We're actually sort of friends still now. But she was the crybaby. She cried about everything.
Wow.
So it was only in my mind right that she was Usagi or Serena at the time, and I like that was it. And then everyone else like Mako. There was a really tall girl in our group, so she was just automatically Mako. Mina, there was a girl, one of my best friends till this day actually. She's like a huge flirt, and she does have that bubbly, like sort of star quality personality, so she was automatically Mina. And then we had a Ray, like that Ray type of friend who was just mean to everybody, so she became Ray, and it was just kind of like a perfect fit. And a new guy who like just happened to be sort of into it kind of. We were like, all right, you're automatically Tuxedo Masculine too.
That's pretty great.
Okay. All right. So what about Chibiusa? What do you think?
I don't really care for Chibiusa. She's not my favorite character.
I mean,
especially
yeah.
during the series. Yeah, I mean, I was a big fan of her in the last season. That's probably where I enjoyed her the most. But everything before and after that, I'm not a big fan. I could do without her.
Yikes! Ouch.
She sucks, dude.
I mean, she doesn't, though. But okay.
Well,
it's just unfortunate just the way that the show made her out to be, because she's really not like that in the manga. So it's kind of like I have to like just learn to accept it.
how about the Mamoru Usagi Miracle Romance?
So I think, I feel like I'm one of the only people, especially since I've been listening to this podcast for a while, that actually am a big fan of their relationship.
Yeah.
So I know it's a very unpopular opinion. I'm probably going to get judged for it a bit, but I really, really love those two together. And it's been like since the beginning of Sailor Moon too.
I agree with you. It's super fun.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like, I get why people think it's weird, especially now.
Oh, do you?
I mean, he is really much more older than her, but I look past it.
A couple of years older.
Honestly, I just look past it. And I mean, in the manga, he's like not that much older than her. He's like so much more sweeter.
In the manga, it's like 3 years.
It's like 3 years. Yeah, and he's
something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and he's like way more in love with her, and she's a lot more mature in the manga, so I could see how the dynamic just like makes it a little better. But
but even in the anime, it's like 5 years. It's like not. It's not
bad. Oh my god! People are like, oh my god, what is she talking about?
That it's an important 5 years, buddy. I gotta say,
look, I don't know, but it's like, when I was younger, like even when I was like 10 or 11, when I started watching this show, I was just like, oh my god, that's so cute. They're so cute. I was so obsessed with them. I had all my fan sites back in the day. It was just about them. So I was sort of on this train for a while. Like I wrote fan fictions about them. There was like this super popular website called like a SailorMoonRomance.com, if anybody knows what that, but that was just like the website to go to if you wanted to like read anything about Usa and Mamo. So that was like the thing.
But like the idea being that, again, it's written for young girls who definitely sometimes fantasize about a older but actually like mature and romantic guy who's not like a gross, pervy, disgusting guy like they would be in real life.
I know. I can't like pinpoint exactly like why. It's been like, in terms of a show, or I guess like a pairing, it's just been one I always held to high standards. But you know, I think what really did it for me, even maybe I was just on face value or on paper just obsessed with those two, because they were probably the only sort of couple at that time that was actually a couple and like not really, maneuvering around it, especially in like in the animation world. But Disney aside and whatnot. But like what really did it for me was what I really loved them at the I think like back in 2000, Pioneer released the VHS copy of Promise of the Rose, and I got my hands on that. Like, I was obsessed with it. I watched that movie probably like 20 times, and I'd never noticed up until maybe like the last 10 years that he cried when she woke up at the end. And I don't know if that my VHS quality or like the tape just didn't have that quality to really show that, like, him crying. But when I caught that the second time watching it, like in my 20s, I was like, what the heck, he's crying? Like, I never knew that he did that. So for me, I was like, oh my god, he really does care for her. And that sort of like ignited this whole like, oh my god, I'm a huge fan of these two. Like, they're so cute and yada yada yada. But yeah, that's my spiel.
Look, you will find no argument from Sailor Business that Promise of the Rose is the shit.
The shit. So good.
I was talking to someone who hasn't been on the show in a while, and she's coming back, and she was unfamiliar with the show when she started, and she was like, okay, I should watch some episodes to catch up. And I was like, just watch the R movie. It's really good. We cried.
Yeah, I made all my friends watch it back then. They probably didn't really like Sailor Moon that much as I did, but it was so good. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like seeing that last moment in like an HD quality, I guess, video was like eye-opening for me. So I'm like, this is why I like them, because he really does care about her. Though I do have to say, when you get to the next season, I do appreciate Usagi's relationships a lot more versus than when I did back then when I was younger. So I'll just leave it at that. But it does get, as a character, I actually don't care for her. I only care about her when she's with Mamoru. Oh. So that's sort of like my view of her. I know. But when I got to Stars, I actually really, really loved her more then, because she just like evolves in a really nice, in a beautiful way.
Interesting. Okay. So,
all right, so
wait, hold on.
What about other ships? Yeah, exactly. Who are your ships?
Other ships? I mean, so I didn't know Cookbook was a thing until I started listening to you guys. So
if you've been on this show since the beginning, you have seen every step of the development.
I know. I mean, looking at it back now I do, and I notice it more, and like even in all of the, what do you call it, like in posters and promotional photos. Like, I was in Japan earlier this year, and I went to a vintage shop, and there was like Mercury and Jupiter only posters like sprinkled all over the walls. It was kind of funny, and I was like, maybe I just never really noticed this back then.
That is funny.
But other ships, I mean, I really actually do like the Rei and Mina pairing. That's sort of been one of my second favorite couples, couple, quote unquote, forever, I guess. And I guess spoiler warning, but I do really like one of the relationships that didn't really happen but happen in Stars as well. So that's sort of like a future thing.
All right.
So quick thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
A million years ago in the conversation, we were talking about the Sailor Moon blanket. And I Googled it and found it, but that accidentally led me to Sailor Moon Etsy.
Okay.
Where I found for $1,905 a gorgeous recreation of the princess dress. Take a look at this shit.
All right, hit me.
Link sent.
There's the blanket. Okay, that's very good.
Well, when her wings are there.
Yeah.
Let's see the dress.
Oh my god, it's so
Holy
pretty.
Cats.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
$2,000. $2,000 you're paying for this guy.
Dress, it's for sure.
But I mean, look at the shoulder caps.
It's amazing.
Like, it is like a I mean, it's like cell shaded.
I mean, the shoulder caps look like they're like some sort of carved material. I don't know what.
Yeah.
But it's got like an intricate beading for all the circlets. I don't know, whatever they are, circles.
They're circles is the name of that.
That's what I meant. Very intricate. Like it's really impressive. That's why I was like, I gotta share this with you guys.
Okay, so do you want to do this show now?
Sure, yeah, man, sure.
Okay, because I would like to do the show.
Oh, heard of it.
Have you?
The show, yes.
Yeah, our show.
Sailor Business.
Sailor Business.
Oh, I thought we were doing that already.
Jordan, I just want to do the friggin' show. Can we do the show, please?
You're the one who controls the sound cue.
All right, here we go. All right, we are watching episode 161 of Sailor Moon Supers. It is called Terror in Motion, The Dark Queen's Evil Hand. A Jordan.
Yes.
I want to do a little role playing.
Okay.
All right, I am going to be H. Reginald Cloverway.
Okay.
And you are going to be my lackey.
Oh, okay.
We'll call him Jordan.
Cool.
Jordan, get in here!
Hi, yes. What can I do for you, sir?
This episode title has too many words!
Yes, I agree.
What should we change it to?
Oh, should I just tell you, sir?
Give me a hint.
Sorry.
Play with me in the space, Jordan.
No, it's fine. I just was like, oh, I guess I'll just tell him. Okay, well, sir, let's see. Let's come up with something good. There's this whole thing that happens that the evil queen does in this episode.
Okay.
Like her big goal for the episode.
Her big goal for the episode.
Yeah, just for the episode. Not her season-long goal, but like she does try to do a very specific thing.
She tries to get out of a mirror.
In the first 3 seconds of the episode, but I'm talking about like for the entire plot of the whole episode. There's
Give
one
me
thing.
Any shit. We're role playing right now.
Oh, right. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. Yes, sir, you're right. But I was thinking more of something.
I shall brook no insolence, or I will have you killed.
Okay, well, you're just my employer, so you can't have me killed.
I run this town, Jordan.
Which town is that?
The town of Cloverway.
What country is that in?
Cloverwania. What's the title, Jordan? I'm done with this bit. Let's move on.
It's called Day of Night.
Day of Night is actually not a terrible title.
Yeah, it's not a good title.
I mean, no. If we're really going to get technical about it, no, it is not a good title.
It doesn't mean a lot. I mean, like, I feel like you could go simpler on this and have done better. Like, Darkness Falls, done.
That's boring, though.
Yes. Oh, you're right. Day of Night. So exciting.
Why? Why do you want to argue with me about everything?
Day
of Night is
I'm trying to
cool.
help you become right.
Okay. All right. So anyway, Day of Night.
Day of Night.
AKA Terror in Motion, The Dark Queen's Evil Hand. AKA Coming Terror, The Dark Queen's Evil Approach, which is what Wikimoon calls it.
What is what is Terror in Motion?
I don't work for Viz, buddy.
So let's do the thinking of Mr. Viz.
I don't know. The plan is in motion at this point. In this episode, the plan is in motion. Things are moving, finally.
That is at least true. Yes, I'll give you that.
Written by Genki Yoshimura, directed by Norio Sasaki. The animation director for this one was Shigetaka Kiyoyama. All people we are familiar with. The original air date was January 27th, 1996. It's almost Valentine's Day.
No, that's not a thing.
Valentine's Day? Jordan,
It's
you just
almost
revealed a very
Valentine's
depressing
Day.
evaluation of your life up to this point.
No. We celebrate Valentine's Day, but it's almost Valentine's Day. You don't have to decorate your house for Valentine's Day.
You could.
But you don't have to.
I mean, you don't have to decorate your house for anything, Jordan. It's fun and whimsical.
Let's try this. Chris, you don't have to decorate your house for Christmas.
How dare you speak to me like this on my own show?
It's our own show. It's my own show too.
Not when you talk like that.
It is Christmas time right now in real life.
It is. It's very much Christmas time right now.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you have your tree up yet, Jordan?
No.
Lauren, do you celebrate Christmas?
Yeah, we have that.
You are being drowned out by Darlene Love right now. So I cannot hear a word you say.
Say that again, yeah.
We actually put our tree up last week after Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Before Thanksgiving, so we were extra festive.
Whoa.
Your tree went up before mine.
Oh, there you go.
Mine went up on Friday.
We might not put up a tree this year.
Oh, why not?
Why not?
Well, because of Darian walking around.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. You have a Darian can walk now, and so you have like a little 2 foot tall person. You don't want edible glass right at eye level, I guess.
Have like those Charlie Brown Christmas trees like on your coffee table, maybe.
That's true.
I also have one of those.
You have 2 Christmas trees up?
We bought a very small silver glittery Christmas tree for the dining room table.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it one of those ones that like is pre-decorated, or do you have to decorate it?
No. It's just a tree. We have a lot of ornaments, obviously, because we are good people.
Do you have a Sailor Moon ornament?
I don't. I actually don't. And if anybody wants to direct me to a good Sailor Moon ornament, I would definitely appreciate that. I think it would be great. All right, so the show. Let's talk about the show.
Oh, that.
We have Queen Nihilenia, and she's doing that Arthur meme that everybody likes.
The Arthur meme?
Yeah, with the
the
he
hand.
gets mad.
Yeah,
and he does the
yeah,
hand.
Yeah.
It's that exact shot, but it's Queen Nihilenia, and she's mad because people are taking a real long time to get through Sailor Moon Supers.
I don't think that's literally what she says.
She is like, why is this season so long?
No.
I just want to murder this horse.
Right.
Which is literally what I was telling you before we started recording.
That's accurate. No, she does not want to murder a horse.
You are the Zirconia, and I'm the Nihilenia.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. I am not... Let me ask you this, Chris. Who failed to get the files to Jake for 2 weeks in a row?
I mean, look, yes, that is a total Zirconia move on my part.
Thank you.
That's me going, Jake, edit the show. Jake's a pala pala, I think.
I believe
Lauren, I don't know who you are in this metaphor. I apologize.
It's okay.
Well, she's the person of the week who may or may not have Pegasus inside of her, except we all know she doesn't, no offense.
Look, I do not doubt that Lauren has beautiful dreams. That is true. But there is no person like that this time.
No, not this
we
episode.
Can spoil that right up front. No monster of the week, no victim of the week in this one. Shit is moving.
There's like 100 victims.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I mean, yes.
Years.
There's a monster too, but we don't actually get like the standard monster fight. Like this episode is really good because it breaks away from the formula.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll get to it. So Nihilenia is like, hey, I have been trapped in a mirror for quite some time. I would like to not be trapped in a mirror forever. Can we get a move on here?
Wait,
you
hold
horrible middle manager.
Is that what she's trying to do? Is that the point of what she's doing? No, right? Like, what's her end goal? Did we know yet?
Yeah, she wants to get out of the mirror, and because she can blanket the world in the darkness of the new moon.
And why does she want to do that?
Like, if she can get out of the mirror, she can do it effortlessly.
Right. So the end goal is to darken the world.
Yes.
Why? Just to rule it.
She has a vendetta against Sailor Moon. They're going to get into it in the next episodes, but
okay, not yet.
Yeah,
okay.
Almost there.
So yeah, basically in this episode, in this intro, she's like, "Oh my god, you're so incompetent, Zirconia. Like everything you do is wrong, and your people suck. They can't even beat Sailor Moon, and they can't even get this shit done. I could do it in a fucking heartbeat." She pushes her hand out of the mirror with great effort, but then the light of the world hits her hand and starts destroying the darkness inside of her, and that's a problem.
Yeah, so if you were wondering, is Queen Helenia a Dracula? Yes.
Essentially, yes.
And she says, "Oh, how vexing."
This is like a metaphor for the whole season where they're like, hey, here's Queen Helenia. Her design is really cool. She's a Dracula. We're just going to put her in this mirror and not talk about her for like 30 episodes. Chris, enjoy it. Anyway, I'm being positive because I actually do like this episode.
So she is very upset. She's highly vexed. She's like, "Oh, God damn it. If I could just get out of here." So then she activates something.
They do something.
Yeah, she does a thing.
Very big thing.
Yeah, it's like such a big thing that it's one of those things where it's like, this is one of those why don't you start with the sword situations for like Voltron and stuff, because it is very much like, wait, you could have done that the whole time and you just didn't. Cool.
Now, Lauren, did you pick this episode or did we assign this one to you?
I think I was assigned this one.
Okay, so you did not, you weren't like, I gotta talk about these spiders.
I still don't get these spiders.
We don't see any spiders, right?
No,
We see a lot of spider webs.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Because Sailor Moon does whatever a spider do.
No.
It's a completely new concept. I still don't get it because it's not even a thing in the manga when the equivalent of this season. So it's like, all right, let's just put this element in and just roll with it.
If you remember a few episodes ago when we saw Dreamland be destroyed, I don't remember if we called them spider webs at the time, but we were definitely like, what the fuck is going on? Like, did they spray it with stuff? Like, and the answer is yes. Apparently they did. Yeah, she just kind of goes like, you know what? I have an idea. Let's fucking turn off the light of the world. Spiders, go.
Yeah,
And
which is great. Which I love. That is such a cool image because it's inherently scary and it's something we can all get. Like, what if there was a spider web that we couldn't even see being formed over the city that was going to block out the sun? It was going to be that big a spider web. That's scary.
okay. Is that scary? Yeah, I mean, first of all, before I say anything even remotely brave, let me start by saying, if I see the smallest spider in the fucking world, I will scream.
Yeah.
So spiders are inherently very scary. But like we just said, we don't see any spiders in this episode. No one in this episode sees any spiders. We just see spiderwebs just appearing everywhere. And the idea that a spiderweb could be so spiderwebby that it blocks out the sun seems kind of preposterous to me.
Really, Jordan?
Yes.
That's what seems preposterous to you about this show?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's about teens who fly.
They only fly sometimes.
Yeah, they only fly sometimes.
Very rarely. Very rarely.
I actually think that's really cool because we don't see spiders. We just see evidence of spiders, which is a very good horror setup.
Can I sound like a dummy for a minute?
Yeah, go for it. It's been 161 episodes of that so far.
There you go. I was setting you up nice. It was not so long ago, like probably a year or two, when I learned that cobwebs were spider webs.
Oh, you didn't know?
No, for some reason I was like, no, there's no spiders on cobwebs. Like those are just like, it's just like dust that like clings to itself or something. Like there's no spider involved in that. And later then at some point relatively recently, somebody was like, no, you're wrong. They are from spiders. I was like, what?
Oh man.
Yeah. So we join a B plot that is already in progress.
Hey, it's your favorite, Ikoku.
I do love Ikuko. We keep thinking it's the last episode she's here.
I know, I'm about to say, she made her appearance yet again.
She's hanging in there.
Hanging in there.
Kenji, gone.
Super gone.
Chibius is gonna run a marathon.
No.
No, she is. She's gonna run a long distance race.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not an actual marathon.
Probably not a 26.2 mile race, no. But she's gonna run a race, and if she wins, Usagi's gonna get her whatever she wants, which is normally what would be the plot of an entire episode. In this one, it's wrapped up 3 minutes. Love it. Let's keep it moving.
Also, but here's the thing about that too. That's like such a fucked up plot because, oh, hey, yeah, run this giant race against a gazillion other kids, and I'll buy you something if you win.
Yeah.
That's
How do you plan on parenting your kid, Jordan?
I guess if you all want them only to care about winning, like Jesus Christ,
What do you care about?
Chris, it's all how you play the game.
Mm. In the words of the Beastie Boys,
Mhm,
it's not how you play the game, it's how you win it.
Oh, well, that's the opposite of what I said, so they must be right.
Yeah. They're the Beastie Boys.
They have more hit records than I do, but I've done more successful comic books than they have.
Well, they've got more rhymes than the Bible's got psalms. So,
That's fair. So they're better than the Bible too. Great.
look, as a semi-professional Bible podcaster, yes.
How many listeners did we just lose?
They can go listen to my Bible show. It's this, but for the Bible. It's called Apocryphals. Plug. So Chibiusa does well.
Oh wow, we really are blasting through it.
Are we? Because without looking, it's been like 40 minutes. Yep, 42 minutes.
Yeah, but we just started the episode. Anyway, yes. Point is, she does not just do well, she wins. The scouts are watching the race. You're right. It's a very long race, though, because they're watching nowhere near the finish line. They're somewhere.
Ami brought a book.
Ami brought a book.
That's how long it is.
Like they're just watching. They see Chibi run by and are like, "Oh, cool. All right. So anyway, should we go to the finish line? Mamoru's at the finish line. Let's go play video games."
Makes sense to me.
Good parents. Speaking of how I will parent, it won't be like that.
You say that now.
I don't really like video games, so there you go. I'll read comics. Totally different.
Okay. So Memo's not feeling well. He's got some get a little bit of that.
He tripped.
Wait, hang on. Can we just talk about the fact that when the scouts are walking away, they have like an extensive conversation about how they don't like to run?
I love this is a really good Minako part because they're like, yeah, I don't really like to run. And then somebody's like, Mina, weren't you on the volleyball team? Didn't you have to run all the time? And Mina's like, yeah, I mean, I can do it. I just choose not to, which is peak Mina.
And then like they all kind of chime in like, yeah, you know what? I don't really like to run either. And I'm just like sitting there going, why are we all talking about our feelings on running? Especially considering we do see them run pretty regularly on the show.
Yeah, but that's in Pursuit of Superheroics.
And they have magic powers at that point. Presumably they would never get tired. Wait, have we ever seen the Sailor Scouts get tired?
I mean, like when they're Sailor Scouts?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Usagi's fallen asleep at some point. Lauren, would you like to take us through this next scene?
Yes. So this is when at the finish line, right? So she's heading to the finish line, and Mamo's there. She wins. Diana makes an appearance too for the first time in a while, at least in my viewing, and he sort of keels over and it's like, okay, and is in pain, but says that just basically saying like, oh, I tripped, don't worry about me. Let's head to the arcade now.
But it happens when he hits the spider web.
Yes. So when he touches the spider web, it sort of like hits his chest and he's like, yeah, keeling over, and he's like, what's wrong? Nothing, I just tripped.
Now, I don't remember there being an explanation for this in the episode.
There is not.
There's not. And that's the thing. Like with this, it's kind of strange how, because they're really targeting him. In the manga, it's sort of like, because the earth is starting to become polluted with all of these weird things, I guess in whatever the equivalent of a spider web would be in the comics, it's affecting him because it's his planet is being, again, polluted.
Right.
So feeling like every inch of pain that is starting to sort of like insert itself into what he's supposed to be protecting. So that's kind of like my take on it, why he's feeling the pain more than other people who are just sort of running into it, and it's just like flying away with them.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say, we literally just saw Ami walk into one and she didn't even notice.
She didn't feel anything, but he's feeling it more so because he is the Prince of Earth.
Gotcha. That's a good theory. I like that.
That is such a really good, like, superheroic touch. that we have not gotten in the show thus far. That I like. It's a really good bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I like it.
Yeah.
So, like you said, they head off to meet them at the
Parlor.
right at the fruit parlor, because that's the thing. They say they're like, let's go to Crown, and at first I assumed they were talking about the parlor.
Or they're at Crown. Is the Crown and the Parlor they're two separate places?
They're the
Well,
same business.
Same
They
business.
both are called Crown because it's
Right.
Crown Arcade and it's Crown Fruit Parlor.
Parlor. Right.
Yeah, and it's the same family because Unazuki works at one and Motoki works at the other. I don't think they're in the same building.
No, that's what it didn't seem like to me either.
Yeah, but they definitely are. Like they're close enough. They're like in the same shopping center. I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're close enough together that they are like they're relatively close because we've seen like Unazuki has like gotten a ride before, like gotten
Yeah,
a ride
that's-
home from the
that's
game
true.
center.
But they're not. Well, whatever. So they're playing video games, and Ami's like, guys, like we should probably go. Like they're gonna beat us there, and they're gonna be upset.
They're getting some real Virtua Fighter in this episode. I wish it was called God Fighting.
That would be good.
That's a great name for a fighting game. TM.
Oh, you just TM'd it. Wow.
Yeah.
So Usagi's like, Ami, you worry too much, and then she looks at her and goes, Ami, you really worry too much. You have a gray hair. You old hag.
Which is weird because, as we know, Ami is immortal.
What?
Ami's immortal. She's alive 1,000 years in the future, Jordan.
Well, they all are.
Yeah,
Everyone
I
is.
know.
I don't know.
It's weird to imagine immortals getting gray hair. That's all.
So, well, listen, don't worry about it. She didn't get a gray hair. It was the spider web,
Yes.
which doesn't really look like a gray hair.
Which, again, I think is a really cool little bit where it's like, oh, where are all these spider webs coming from? I think it's set up really well.
I like how they keep mentioning, why are there spider webs in this season? I didn't realize that spider webs were a seasonal thing, because Ikuko said that too in the beginning.
That's what my wife said. And I was like, well, I don't really think of it that way. But that being said, if I
Very
walked
much
outside right now and saw a giant spider web, I would probably be like, oh, because it is winter. Like I probably wouldn't have said it like, it's not spider season, but it's not
Right.
spider season. Like they go away for the winter or they don't come
They
out
come
much.
back certain points of the year.
I mean, right?
Yeah, no, like bugs go away in the winter unless you live someplace like North or South Carolina.
Oh.
In which case the change in weather is usually not severe enough to kill all the horrible things.
And then even further south, you just get more bugs all the time.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yuck.
My worst year.
Yeah, me too.
So they finally go over to the fruit parlor. We get a very good Unazuki appearance. And Chibiusa yells at Usagi because she's like, hey, you told me you were going to buy me whatever I wanted. What I wanted was lunch at the fruit parlor. And you clearly went to the arcade.
It's a very cute, like, continuous shot of her just doing that too.
Apparently through the entire meal. Because
Yeah.
she is doing it as Usagi's paying the bill.
Like walking.
Do you think she hasn't already eaten? Like I figured Mamoru just got her the food. Or
I mean,
ordered it.
Usagi pays the bill,
Yeah.
so I assume she was waiting.
Okay. All right.
Speaking of Mamo paying, he's paying the price.
For walking into spider webs.
Yes, so leave a message and I'll call you back. Reference.
Hey, who's that little gray cat he's carrying?
We've already talked about how this is a rare Diana appearance.
Did we? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Like he's always like holding her so delicately too, and it's like not necessary, but he does anyway.
Where are her parents?
Yeah, they can only remember one cat at a time, unfortunately. I do like that that Diana refers to everyone by their future names, so she's always calling Chibiusa small lady. I think it's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So Unazuki's like, why are there so many spiders? I have killed 5 spiders today. They keep coming back. And then the girls start to notice that it's getting dark outside
Like,
because these otherwise invisible spider webs are becoming so thick overhead that it's beginning to blot out the sun. That's so good. That's scary.
Like
It
again,
is.
it is sure. I just don't buy it. I don't buy that you could look up and be like, I'm looking at the sun. Well, you're not. Don't look at the sun. I'm looking at the general sky, and I can see that the sun is up there and everything, but it just is all dimmer than normal. Like I just don't.
Yeah, but spider webs are hard to see. Like that is their function.
Totally. I guess then I mean, listen, I'm going to say, then how many would there have to be to actually dim the sun? And the answer is a zillion. And I think by then you'd see them.
It's like a giant screen door
I can
where
see a
like you
screen
can
door.
see through it. You'd just be in shadow and you wouldn't be able to tell why. Jordan, I can't believe you are resisting this so hard.
Listen, it's fine. Don't worry. When they wake up tomorrow morning, it'll all be different.
All right. So anyway, guess what? Helios
What?
is still tied up naked
What?
in his spider webs, just as the day he was born,
He always was.
as he always was and always will be.
Yeah.
No, sometimes he wears clothes.
Sometimes he's a horse. I've never seen him wear clothes.
You have, when he turned into a person that one time. It was
that
not.
was a flashback.
No, when he kissed Chibiusa almost.
That was in her imagination.
Okay. All right.
real life Helios, straight naked. And that takes us to our act break.
Is that early?
It's a little early, but it counts. Hey, Jordan,
Yeah.
do you wear shirts to work?
Oh, yeah, a couple.
What an answer. Do you wear jackets?
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, it's cold now.
Oh, then yes, definitely.
Do you like to decorate your jackets so that they're not just like basic out of the closet jackets? They get a little bit of extra flair.
Sometimes I do, you know?
Mm-hmm. Do you know what a great way to decorate your jacket is?
I think I have an inkling.
That's right. It's with the 2019 Sailor Business Pin,
What?
designed by Katie Donnelly. The Act Sorry pin,
That's amazing.
folks. They're here. Jake has them. They arrived at the Sailor Business Distribution Headquarters, aka Jake's house. And he's going to be sending them out. If they're not already on the way, they will be on their way soon for everybody who is at $15 when the month changed over on Patreon. And everybody who's going to be at $15 going forward is going to default to that Act Sorry pin. If you do want the tennis ball pin, just let me know. If you don't have it yet, we still have them, so don't worry. But how, Jordan, can you get that pin and also help support this show?
Oh, do both at once? Well, I was thinking what you could do is go to patreon.com/sailorbusiness and become a patron of the show at the $15 a month level. Then the pin will be whisked out to you as quickly as humanly possible.
Yeah. And you don't have to support at $15.
Well, not if you don't
You
want
can
the pin.
support as little. That's true. The pin is for $15 and above. But at $1, you are supporting the show, and we thank you so much for that. It makes it worth it to stay up so late at night to do these shows. We do them at night now. I'm so tired. But at $5, you get access to bonus audio and additional content like the expanded Dan Scrolls PDF for Xena Warrior Business. Get well soon, Dan.
Oh.
We have bonus audio like outtakes from the show, and you encourage us to do other things. Like right now, I think we're above $1,000, which
Nope.
means you got some singing to do.
We're
Jordan.
not. We're not.
We're not?
No.
Okay, well, one day soon.
We'll get back there. We've been there before, and we'll get back there.
We've been there before. We've been to that mountaintop, baby.
But you know what? Like, this is a really great thing. These pins are super cool. I don't have mine yet, but hopefully I'll have mine soon and I'll start wearing it.
I have mine.
Yeah, I know. Why didn't you send me one?
I assumed Jake would send them.
Yeah, you send them to someone else to have them send them to me. Got it.
I mean, look, I kept two. I kept one for me and one for Aiden. If she wants it, I'll send you one if you really want it. But I mean,
I'll ask Jake.
I think it's important for the patrons
Mm-hmm.
that you get yours when they get theirs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
In what capacity is that important?
And I get them first.
Right. Okay, very important.
Oh, look, I only got mine I got mine when everybody else got theirs last time with tennis balls.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. They just
Okay.
happened to come to me first this time. Don't be weird about it. Now, Lauren, do you have a Sailor Business Pen?
I do not yet,
Ah, but you will.
but I will. I plan to get one.
Yeah, and thank you, Lauren, because that means you're a Patreon backer, just like these very nice people, like Megan.
Thank you very much, Megan.
Actually, Megan looks like, I believe Megan's our only new patron for the month. Everyone else is just, we've got a lot of upgrades.
Well, thank you. Listen, all you upgrades, thank you as well.
Yeah, thank you to everybody who's upgrading. I will say, if you are international, it does cost us $16 to send you the pen. So maybe keep it going for a couple months.
Yeah, that would be very nice of you.
That would be nice of you. And that would not just be you gaming the system and costing us money. Otherwise, thank you to all our international backers. You are wonderful and we love you. And thank you to all our domestic backers as well. Jordan, would you like to do a question before we go back to the show?
What? I was not expecting this.
Yeah, I know. I, for some reason, keep asking you.
All right, let's give it a shot. Scroll.
Scroll.
Yes, there's a lot of scrolls here. No, I was scrolling. Sorry. All right. Well, here's a big question.
Okay, I love big questions.
Chris, our friend and friend of the show, Amanda Lambda Power on Twitter asks,
Love Amanda.
what 2 or 3 things would you change about Supers to make it less bad?
No horse.
No horse at all? There's no plot.
Yeah, there's a plot.
What is it?
It's the same plot as every other fucking season, Jordan. Bad guys show up and do bad shit.
But like they're all involved in they're looking for the horse, man.
They could be looking for they could literally be looking for anything. How have you not put this together? It's a MacGuffin, Jordan. They just look for shit all the time.
I don't know, man. Plus, how would Sailor Moon defeat the bad guys without his extra powers?
She could get powers from literally anywhere. I hate this.
Do you have any
Lauren,
other...
do you have a suggestion on what could be changed?
I would not have this whole Chibiusa relationship thing happen at all.
Oh, yeah.
You could still have Pegasus in to an extent, but I would not have this like sort of weird thing going on.
Wait a minute. Guys, I have a crazy question that makes me think. What if the season was revised so Chibiusa is communicating with the soul of her girlfriend?
Saturn?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be, like, fine. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing to have a plot where they're trying to rescue someone. Like, I think a season-long rescue arc is fine. Especially if it's someone who can, like, you know, reach out, like, project their soul or their essence or whatever and give them, like, new powers, like, access to new stuff. Saturn would actually be a really cool character to do that with because we know she's mega powerful.
She's trapped in that baby body.
She is currently trapped in a baby body like Darkseid was for a minute.
So listen, it would still be a problematic relationship.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it would be less problematic.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's more believable than this one.
Oh.
They play too many games with each other. Pegasus and Chibiusa.
So it's better to date a baby than a horse.
Better to reach your soul sister than
Lauren, any other suggestions for the season?
I mean, I wish they followed the manga more than creating their whole separate storyline. That's what I think they should have done, because then everyone would have a lot more depth to them, like Mamoru and the Amazon Quartet, and even Chibiusa. She's a lot more tolerable in the comics than she is here.
What chapters of the manga are these?
I'm not sure. I'm sure I can find them.
No, I'm just wondering because I know they were making the show and the manga at the same time, right? Like, I wonder if the manga was done by this point.
It was a lot short. It's definitely a lot shorter than all of these episodes, but I'm not sure. And it's funny because I know Naoko Takeuchi was very like upset with the way some of her stories were being handled, which is kind of like why the Luna movie happened. It's because she finally got her say into that. But I think like especially with R and with Super S, it was sort of like out of her hands and it evolved in a different way. Definitely not like at all.
That's weird because R and Supers are very bad.
Very bad. Yeah, and she I remember in like her little panels in like the old school like Tokyo Pop mangas, like she would have her little author's note sections, and she would just write how like yeah, she was like passively aggressive, saying that she just didn't like the way some of the episodes or like the seasons turned out.
So let's see. When did this episode came out? This episode came out in January of '96. You know what? In fact, actually, let me go back. When did the season start? Because I found the list of episodes, and Dream One was Act 39, and it looks like that came out September 6th, 1995. That's pretty much the exact same time, if I remember correctly.
Mm.
Here's my list of 3 changes. 3 changes that I think you immeasurably improve this season.
Whoa, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. No, it's reversed. March 4th, 1995 is when the first episode of Supers came out, meaning about 50,000 episodes were out before the first chapter of the manga that this season is quote unquote based on came out.
But they couldn't catch up, basically.
Yeah.
You ready for my suggestions?
Yeah, this is a big revelation to me. I thought this was interesting. I guess you disagree.
Yeah.
Like they
Sorry.
hadn't wrapped up the Mistress 9 and Pharaoh 90 stuff in the manga yet by the time these anime episodes started coming out. But anyway, let's tell me the 3 things you change.
Skip the trio.
Okay.
No horse.
Okay.
Use the extra time to develop the quartet more. Because the quartet, I think, are good. I like the quartet. They're fun. But they need, like, characters in the way that, like, the witches, or most of the witches, had characters in the way that the Spectre Sisters.
I mean,
which I think are, like the Dark Kingdom, the Spectre Sisters, and the first 3 of the witches are our favorite villains because they're the ones with characters.
I feel like even the Amazon trio has more character than the quartet.
No, I agree with you. And I feel like that's a character we don't need. Because they're a creep. They're a weirdo.
No, these girls have a lot more substance to them. It is unfortunate that they didn't get the story that they deserved because they're so because they are Sailor Scouts in reality. So it's kind of like they got the short end of the stick with the way this season played out.
Yeah, they're so even in this episode, just these much like Alan and Anne.
Yes,
they're just these shitty kids. These little assholes.
I don't care, just go away already.
Yeah, I think they could be really fun. All right, we ready to get back in the show?
Yeah.
Oh, also, there's one more thing that is introduced in this episode that I think should have been used way more often in this season. We'll get to it.
I'm sorry. My mind is just still reeling from the fact that the anime ended before the manga did as well. Like all of it. Like at this point, the anime was leading the way and the manga was following behind. That's crazy. Like I never thought that.
Well, I mean, the same thing happened with the X-Men cartoon.
What?
Yeah, dude, the X-Men cartoon was doing Phalanx Covenant at the same time as the comics. And then Age of Apocalypse happens on the show before it happens in the comics.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And obviously I knew about Scott Pilgrim. I know about Game of Thrones passing its source material by a bunch. But yeah, I didn't realize that was the case with Sailor Moon. But yeah, looking at the release dates.
It's very weird that you did not know this about the X-Men cartoon when I wrote about it extensively immediately before you hired me to write, hired me and Chad.
I didn't read
our X-Men comic.
Every chapter of your thing. I'm sorry.
Unbelievable. All right, let's get back to the show.
No, I was about to before we.
Wait. Sorry. Lauren, I did not mean to interrupt you with the music. Please continue.
No, I was about to say it's interesting, Jordan, because lately with all the new shows coming out and the manga is not finished, they actually don't animate until the manga catches up.
Oh.
So it's kind of reverse. At least with the ones we've been watching, my fiance and I are watching a bunch of new shows, and it's they have to stop mid-season because just the manga is not done yet. So that they could create a whole 20 new episodes just to, again to catch up. But in this case, it's they wanted to capitalize on every single episode of Sailor Moon and to sort of keep the franchise going. So they were we're not going to wait for you. That's kind of what I've been observing. Because by the time Stars came out, it was the ratings went super low.
It just adds like a whole nother layer to me to this whole fact that so many people say the manga is better when on some
Mhm.
level it's like, yeah, but they didn't have the manga. Like I'm sure she was like, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. And they were basing it
Yeah.
on that, but they didn't know how she was going to do it.
And sometimes she was mentioning in her notes or author's notes that like they didn't like half of the things she was trying to show or to write. So that's why they started making up their own things too.
Crazy.
So it's kind of a little interesting. There are a lot of creative control drama behind the scenes, I feel, with her and with production that was happening.
Nutty. All right, let's do it.
All right, and we're back. So you remember how I said this episode rules except for two things?
I do.
Mhm.
Okay, we get the first thing that sucks right here.
Is it a horse?
We do get a look at the entire city of Tokyo, particularly the Juban district, covered in spider webs. It looks fucking rad.
Yeah, that part was cool looking.
It's so good. I don't like. It's so weird that you are having such trouble buying this premise. So I think it's really good.
No, but no. When I see this is what I'm saying. Seeing spider webs, then I go, yeah, okay, I can see them. I can understand the idea. It's when they're like looking up, going like, oh, it's like the sun is dim, and I'd see nothing. I'm like, okay, like you'd see spider webs if that were the case.
No, but you can't see spider webs.
We're looking at them right now.
They're very difficult to see.
They're easy to see in this scene.
When there's that many of Okay, so it's a real they're turning Japan into a real spider island.
Oh, everybody gets Spider-Man powers like in the Spider Island event that Marvel Comics did in the Amazing Spider-Man series.
It's a real Spider-Geddon.
So it's lots of alternate reality Spider-Mans like in the Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay, so there's a current Marvel event called Spider-Geddon where there's a character named Spiders-Man.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely true.
Lauren, do you know about Spiders-Man?
Oh, I don't.
Spiders-Man is a bunch of spiders who are in the shape of Peter Parker.
Yep.
It sounds terrifying.
Yeah, that makes me want Sailor's Moon. She's like a mecha piloted by a bunch of sailors.
Okay. For a second, I was like, is it sailors in the shape of the moon? Because that's weird.
It's in the shape of an Usagi. Just some hard riding sailor mans. Just in the shape of a 14-year-old girl who's blood type O.
Now, would it be real? You want it to be like actual sailor men rather than like a gazillion schoolgirls in sailor uniforms?
I think it would be important that they were actual nautical professionals, irrespective of gender.
Okay.
I think I do want to say that, like the crew of a ship, and the ship is Usagi.
It's funny that you say that because that really makes me realize I don't think I've ever seen anything depicting a female sailor on one of those ones where it's like a zillion. They hire like 50 people to go on a boat. Like I don't remember ever seeing any of them be a woman. Is that still a thing where they're like, no, you can't be a woman on a boat?
No, I'm pretty sure that women do serve in the Navy.
No, I'm not talking about the Navy. I'm talking about like commercial, like when they go out. Listen, I don't watch any of these crab shows where they go out and do crab stuff. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
Look, you got me. I don't watch crab shows either, my man.
They're supposed to be popular, so there you are.
Okay.
I'm not sure either.
Anyway, point being, here's the thing that sucks. Pegasus is like, hey, Chibiusa, here's what's happening. They're gonna do spider stuff to Tokyo. And just like they did to my world. And it's gonna be bad, because they're looking for me. So I'm just gonna go away forever.
Yep. You guys
and that's great.
This is so annoying.
And then he doesn't go away forever.
No. Listen, Chris, I hate him too. But him saying he's gonna go away forever is the bullshittiest bullshit in the universe. He's literally like, yep, they found me here, and they're gonna destroy this entire planet. So I guess I'll be going. Which is super fucked, especially. And then she's like, "I'll help you. I'll just help. How about we help you figure this shit out?" And he's like, "That would be too dangerous. I want to protect you by leaving you to the darkness and destruction." No, you're a piece of shit.
This is why I don't like it. It's because he's like constantly testing her. And he knows it too, because he's like, he just waits till she starts crying for him to be like, okay, wait, I'll just stay. Sorry. Or not even apologizing to her. It's like, forget it. All that what I said.
We also get a lot of reaction shots of this fucking horse looking incredulous. Which,
Yeah, it's the same.
you know what? Bless them for drawing it, but it's, oh boy, it is a hell of a thing. Anyway, this whole scene is bad.
She literally holds on to his crystal and is like, I'm not gonna let you go. And it's romantic, except it's not.
It's so not.
Yeah. So Pegasus does not leave forever.
Oh, also, she points out the other. She's like, also, do you remember that you were like, if I believe in you, I'll never leave you ever, no matter what, and now you're fucking leaving me? Like, what the fuck?
Okay. It's so bad. He's just like toying with her.
Oh, what a piece of shit.
Okay, but then we immediately go back to this episode ruling hard because all the Senshi go out into this spiderweb ass covered Tokyo, and they're like, oh shit. It's getting real. And everybody's hair grows by about 12 feet.
What is going on with Ray's hair?
Ray's hair is like venom.
Yes, it is. It is
Ray,
reaching out.
Ray, we gotta go get the Demoon Circus, Ray.
It is insane how big her hair is. Also,
did you see Venom, Jordan?
No.
Jordan, I'm gonna blow your mind.
Please.
Venom's really good.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Venom's super fun. Highly recommended.
All right, maybe I'll try to see that then. I don't see a lot of movies right now.
Lauren, Venom, thoughts?
I haven't seen it yet. I actually heard the opposite. I heard it didn't get that many good reviews.
Oh no, there is a line in Venom that made me laugh so hard, intentionally, that I started crying in the theater.
You went to a theater and saw it. You don't even like going to theaters.
I hate going to the theater, but I had to see it for my day job.
Oh yeah, sure. Duh.
Yeah, had to do a lot of writing about Venom this past couple months. Anyway, yeah, Ray's hair is 12 feet long and blowing in the wind. So is Minako's, but Ray's is very noticeable.
In addition, Ray is a fucking detective because she takes one look at the entire city covered in spiderwebs and is like, I sense an evil presence.
And then Usagi, by the way, this is a real budget conscious scene because it's just like still drawings that's being panned over.
Oh yeah.
But I still kind of dig it. And then we get this really dramatic picture of Usagi and she's like, then we gotta fight. Fuck yes, let's do this.
Now, okay. Why don't they transform into Sailor Scouts right this second?
Because they're like, it'll be way more dramatic if we do this in a minute or two.
She's having like moral issues with herself. Like, I can't fight these people. It's the same thing.
I mean, they really should transform right when they decide it's definitely the enemy and we're going to go fight them.
Right? After seeing all those piles of people just like with their mirrors sticking out.
Speaking of being fucking detectives, this is where I think it's Makoto goes, hey, is that Circus the enemy's home base?
Oh, because Ami like uses her computer to like calculate where they're coming from.
Guys.
And it's like, it's that way. And it's like, oh, you mean that giant fucking evil tent?
Guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So then we get a great scene with the quartet where they're literally just dragging stacks of bodies wrapped up in spider webs. And who is it? Who's the red one? Is that Sarah?
I don't remember. Ves?
One of them.
Jun?
Jun?
Palafala?
We'll get it. Palafala? It's one of them. And she goes, what does she say? It's very funny. She goes, hey, where should I put these?
Yeah, it's pretty great. Now, this did make me wonder, why is it that the Sailor Scouts are awake and no one else is? Is it Sailor Scout power, which is a fine explanation, but they don't go into it. They don't talk about the spiderwebs are also going to sap people's energy and make them pass out. Like, these are just all these people who are not awake.
Well, they've had their mirrors knocked out, too.
Because so you think they were screaming until they got their mirrors knocked out?
I mean, presumably, like, they were just, wrapped up in spider webs and having a real bad time, and then they got Evanescence Orb to wake me up inside.
In this episode, they name a bunch of the other orbs, and it made me wonder if the Evanescence Orb is just one of them.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the others don't have Evanescence Orbs. What is Evanescence again?
What is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I looked it up probably the first time. Let me look this up again. Yeah.
All right, let's see. This is about the band. For other uses, see evidence its disambiguation. It's a noun expressing the notion of ephemerality.
Oh, okay. So it's a vanishing or fading away orb.
Yeah.
A vanishing orb. They
It's
could have
the
just called it.
vanishing orb.
I don't know what that's a reference to.
That was I was going to say that's a deep cut for anybody out there. That is a reference to Vanishing Girl by Dukes of the Stratosphere. It's a very good
Nice.
song. Whoever is the pink one, that's Sarah? Palapala's blue. I know
Yes.
that.
You're right.
Vesves is
Sarah.
red.
Okay.
Sarah's one.
Nice.
Who's the pink one?
Sarah.
Sarah. Okay. She's sitting on a pile of dream mirrors, which is extremely funny.
Mhm,
I know.
mhm.
And the whole bit is like, yeah, the ones we haven't checked go in that pile. So there's just these children gathering up all these corpses, and they're in their civilian clothes too, which is very funny.
They're also
And-
concerned because there's so many mirrors that if they have one of their monsters eat it, it will give the monster an upset stomach.
Yeah, well, they're going to give it to all the monsters.
Oh, so all of
Yeah.
them are going to get an upset stomach?
Yeah, because there's so many mirrors. Tokyo's very large.
There you go. There you go.
So here's the thing I like. So Usagi's like, what are you doing? Because, there's all these dead bodies. around.
Deadish. They're only
And
mostly
Sarah
dead.
goes, we're doing our jobs.
Yeah.
Which is very fun. I love occupational supervillains.
And so now again, I guess the implication here is that
Mm-hmm.
Usagi remembers these girls from, was it last episode or 2 episodes ago?
I assume she remembered them from when they went to the circus and saw them performing.
I would not assume that because when they worked with them at the graduation thing or at the coming of age ceremony, they did not go, hey, you're those girls from that circus we saw.
That's because this show doesn't make sense.
Because like she's very much like, wait, but you couldn't do that. And then they transform in front of her, and Usagi is fucking flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Even though they literally were like, it's definitely the bad guys doing this. The bad guys are in that building. We are now at the foot of that building, and we see these girls doing the thing that we're talking about doing, that the bad guys are always doing.
Mm-hmm.
Then they transform, and she's like, what?
Yeah, man. Shit's wild.
Serious denial, she's in.
So this is great, though, because all of the quartet, right, they get out their billiard balls. Because Usagi starts running at him. Usagi starts running at them. And so they shoot her with their billiard balls, but they all stop, and they are deflected by an unseen force, which is great.
What's the unseen force?
I assume the unseen force is fucking destiny.
Super vague. It's like, I guess it was meant to showcase like that she has some sort of power and it was able to deflect it like so fast, but they don't really mention anything about it, or she doesn't either.
So she gathers up her will.
Well, no, the quartet's like, yeah, we're just gonna throw all these people out with the trash. And Usagi goes, unforgivable. And then the shit is on. Fuck yes. This is Sailor Team No Theme, a rad-ass song written by Naoko Takeuchi.
Wait, what?
Lyrics by Naoko Takeuchi.
Now, here's the thing.
It is only out of respect for Jake by God Mason that this has not been playing in the background of this entire episode, by the way.
Okay. Take it away.
No, I mean, they kind of get away. But we get all the transformation sequences.
No,
right?
I'm saying take the song away. Take the song away.
No, I love the song.
It's too loud.
I turned it down.
Not to...
If I turned it down a little more.
Eh.
If I turned it
Listen,
down there.
I wish I could take it away from the episode. I thought it was terrible.
You thought the song was terrible?
I thought the use of the song was terrible. I did not spend a lot of time judging the song on its own. Listening to it now, it seems fine. but I didn't think it fit the episode at all. First of all, because it starts with this like horrible, jarring thing where they're playing the beginning of the song over the beginning of the transformation, and it sounds like crap.
I thought this was cool as shit.
And then I thought the tone of the song didn't fit what happened at all. Like they're keeping these beats where things are happening. Like I can't even remember what the fuck happens, but like because right now I'm caught in 20,000 years of transformations. But like characters are doing things, and like there's kind of some like wah wah moments, but there's just this like blah 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 blah, and it's like, wait, what? This doesn't fit at all. Like, why are you doing this?
I thought this was like as good as Clash of the 10 Warriors.
Oh yeah, I didn't care for the song going over the fight at all.
Wow. Lauren, thoughts?
I didn't get that vibe either. It was kind of just, yeah, it didn't really do anything for me.
I thought it was so cool.
It had the potential. Maybe if it was a different song.
When all the scouts say, "I'll shuck you."
Yeah, no, this is what I'm saying. I agree. If you point to any moment where something happens, I will probably be like, yeah, that was great. I wish that song wasn't playing, because I feel like it would have been better with the normal music.
Wow. I loved it. So one of the things that's going on here is the quartet are like, why do you want to punish us? We're just doing our jobs. And then Minako goes, oh, they don't get it. We're gonna have to punish them real hard.
Yeah, like that's and again, all of these
things, so fucking good.
These are great beats that I thought tonally the song undercut. They have this bit where they shoot little tiny pellet balls at them, and they all are tripping. But there's this weird like feel good about yourself music playing, and I'm like, what? This doesn't work.
I didn't think this was like feel good about yourself. Like it sounds like a song from a later Rocky film.
Yes,
to me.
No, you're right. Pump yourself up for a fight, and they're literally tripping on marbles.
Yeah, but then Usagi almost gets her arms torn out by a voodoo doll.
Yeah, which is not a training montage for Rocky either.
Oh.
I guess the fight wasn't as big as they're trying to make it out to be. So it feels, for me at least, it feels a little out of place that they're trying to make this a big showcase.
You know what? Your Rocky analogy is very apt. That is the tone of this song. And if Eye of the Tiger is playing while the heroes get voodoo dolled up in the air and get their backs start like snapping from people like pulling on their arms out, that's not Eye of the Tiger. I'm like, wait, what? Why are you playing Eye of the Tiger during this?
It's not Eye of the Tiger. It's not a training montage. Look, let me tell you something. They're not indestructible. Okay? They better get that straight.
Is that a line from the song or something? What?
Jordan, there's no easy way out. There's no shortcut home for these Sailor Scouts.
I'm guessing this is a translation of the song.
No, it is from, I believe, Rocky IV.
Oh, okay. Now you're doing Rocky IV. God damn it. That's the only one
I fucking... Go look it up. Sailor Team No Theme is the name of the song. I did find it on sailormusic.net, where I also discovered there is a Sailor Moon Super's Christmas album that we're going to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
It's a good album.
Where Ami sings Jingle Bells.
I'm trying to see if there's a translation of Sailor...
There is.
Oh, can you send it to me? I want to see it.
Yeah. You just want the translation of the lyrics?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, here you go. I'll drop this in the old chat, the old chatter box.
Oh, nice. Sailor Music, of course. I should have gone there first.
Yeah. I ask you, Shooting Star, this time, drown this guy in love, sweeping him away. The moon is full as much as I try.
Wait,
Nothing ever changes. It's all right.
About?
That's Naoko Takeuchi as hell, right there. We must raise our spirits. We must go into battle. The thunder sounds and the flame blazes. We have the boldness of love. That's biblical.
Yeah. I don't feel like the music fit the episode. I just don't. I'm sorry.
You know what I feel like, though?
What?
Fuck yeah. This is so good. This is so good. You are both wrong. I'm sorry. I am sorry. That song rules.
Okay. Let's see. Do I have? I'm trying to think if I have it.
I had to go digging around for it, so.
Because I have a lot of the songs from Sailor Moon. I just don't know if I have that one. No, I guess I don't.
So, as previously mentioned, Pala Pala uses a heretofore unseen power where she captures Sailor Moon's soul in a doll and starts to manipulate all the scouts and threatens to tear their arms off.
Yeah, she uses her control orb.
Yeah. But fortunately...
Yeah.
And this honestly is like my ideal Mamoru appearance. Because he like roses the voodoo doll, and then he shows up and he's like, you know, like, oh, don't do that to my future wife. And then he goes, oh, but I'm dying. And then he can't do anything else. He goes away.
Yep. Does he go away? Well, I guess he does. Dang.
He calls them she-devils, too.
Yeah.
I thought it
He
was
does call them little she-devils. And then, like, so I am, like, watching this episode tonight, I was fucking pumped at this point.
Oh, that's disappointing.
No, like, I am disappointed because, like, then the next thing that happens
We
is...
see that they got Mario.
I'm sorry?
Mario gets his mirror back.
Like Mario the plumber?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm at 2027.
All right. Where do you... okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there he is. There he is. He's 2031 here on Hulu.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, that is Mario. That is cool. That is definitely baby Mario.
Bootleg Mario.
But that's it.
Yeah. It sort of ends on a weird note.
Well, yeah, because then Pegasus shows back up because they had this thing where it's like, oh shit, we're having an eclipse. We're not supposed to have one. This is the dead moon. Like this is what this is what they've been prophesying all this time. And then Minako's like, we can't let him get away. Let's go. And then Pegasus comes out and he's like, no, stop.
Don't do it.
Don't go do more action.
The end. No,
Garbage.
but like, and also there's that beat where again, I think Usagi remembers them from the other thing because she's literally like, I can't believe those girls are our enemy.
Yeah, she does. I think you're right.
Like she is her power of friendship is like working against her in this episode because she's like, wait, what? I thought we were friends.
Pegasus literally says, you must not head for the dead moon right now.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, shit, we do have 4 more episodes in this season.
4 more? Jeez.
Yeah, dude, it goes up to 166.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Hold
Boy, oh
Mhm.
boy.
That's 5 more episodes.
I like how he just manifests, and that's like when they actually can see him and talk to him like he's never been there before, sort of speak. You know?
Wait,
like,
so they didn't see him every time he shows up?
they never made it seem that way. It seems like now it's like he comes and says don't go, and they're actually like, okay, we won't go then.
Ugh.
So that's the episode.
Wait,
and I guess
is that the second thing that was terrible?
Yeah, is that the action is starting and then Pegasus shows up and goes, stop all this fun action and rockin' hair metal.
That was not hair metal.
It was hair metal.
What do you think? This is like oh god, what was the name of that really awesome song from Crystal?
Moon Pride?
Yeah.
Yeah, the theme to Crystal is the shit.
Well, the second theme is also just as good.
Oh, is
Oh,
it? I
yeah?
haven't heard
Oh.
the second theme.
Favorite, yeah.
Me neither.
Maybe one day on this very show, I'll hear that second theme for Crystal.
What?
JK, it's going to be pretty Guardian. So let's talk about what we learned from this episode.
We'll see.
Lauren, we will start with you. What did you learn from this episode of Sailor Moon?
I learned that spiders are seasonal. I didn't know that before watching this episode.
That's true. That's true. I learned that it's more acceptable to date a baby than a horse.
That's what you learned from this episode of Sailor Business.
Yes.
But we were only talking about it because no, I guess it was the listener question. All right.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
All right. What did you learn, Chris?
I learned that Jordan has a lot of ideas about spider webs.
I just thought they were dust that like formed. like I don't even know how I thought that happened. Like the dust is blowing around and a bunch of them like touch each other and they're like, oh, now we're like linked up.
That's cobwebs. I'm just talking about how you're like, why is the spider web blocking out the
Right.
sun? That's my
That
impression.
that you're right.
So again, except for the Pegasus, like literally except for the Pegasus stuff, which I am super uninterested in at this point, I thought this episode kind of ruled.
Yeah, man.
There's like
Yeah.
a weird little B plot and it goes away immediately, and then it's all just like end of season action. Let's do this.
Yeah, it is nice that it's like finally sort of it's moving in a way where it's very very much more action filled, and you still have the formulas of like the you know Pegasus and Chibi said before it, but it's finally like moving, and Helenia's like acting upon it now. So it's getting more exciting, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I will say, I do think it is hurting the Amazonas Quartet that they don't have characters at this point, for sure.
It would be nice if we got some development for them.
Because
Yeah.
they showed up in this episode and I was just like, oh, they're not going to like learn anything or anything. Like, because again, at least the trio felt bad at the end,
Yeah,
or at
but
least grew a little bit.
if we had gotten the same kind of episodes with them where we just see them like actually kind of being bad people for a while, then I think that would make them work a little bit better, because we could be like, wow, they really are terrible. Like we did with Nephrite. No,
Sure, yeah.
not
Yeah.
Nephrite. Who am I
these
thinking? Malachite.
They're really solid villains, I guess. Like they don't really mess up.
Kunzite, sorry.
All the ites.
I could not think of Kunzite's Japanese name. Of all the things to change,
These girls are still rock people. They're just rock people from space.
they're
Mhm.
just big rocks. That's the
Asteroid
thing
people.
about this show. Lauren, I think we're done here. Would you like to tell everyone where they can find you online?